Everything is short, sharp, and well thought out to keep you interested throughout.
That's 21st century innovation for you. We've got how Chongqing used to look during the war in the 1940s, the Second World War, with some 3D virtual imagery and some miniature modelling behind. Woo.
You'll get an idea of how alive Chongqing used to be. But in this respect, not a huge amount has changed. Certainly, the markets are very much brimming with life. There's something alluring about finding a place where everything is so fresh, and you just want to take as much of this organic produce home with you to cook up a feast. Don't miss out on the markets, even if it's just to buy some fresh fruit. There's definitely something mystical about this older part of town around the market. People of all ages can be seen wandering the streets, and you can almost taste the food in the air. I can't quite make a connection to any other city I've been to. Certainly not when you add the steepness factor in. The buzz, allied with the produce and methods of cooking, make this feel more like some ancient village than an area in one of China's largest cities. The contrast of having stick porters loaded with goods everywhere around also adds to this feeling.
Hey, 先生，你买什么？这个是什么？
贸易糖。
贸易糖。
老蜜
是糖是吗？
好。
我买一个吧。
来一个吧。
多少？是1块钱吗？
块钱。再来一个吧。好的。
我尝一下。
尝一下。
哇 So apparently some sort of sweet. Pretty good.
I have an absolute blast strolling around, taking in the atmosphere. It really is unique, to say the least. It's so simple. The stroll is short-lived, however, as I need to carry on with my exploration of Chongqing. Back to the car and modern reality. Now, you may or may not have heard of General Joseph Stilwell, an American war hero who, you may be intrigued to know, is highly revered in this part of the world. He even has his own museum, which is definitely worth the detour. Tucked away on the side of a steep hill, you can find a stunning view from its courtyard, and the contrast of having wartime jeeps parked in this peaceful location is surreal, to say the least. The museum is housed in the former residence of Stilwell himself, who lived here during parts of World War II. A fluent Mandarin speaker, Stilwell was the commander of the US forces in the China-India-Burma theatre. The museum is rather unique amongst Chinese historical sites in that it honours the US involvement in the Second World War. At the end of the day, you really feel like you've visited the home of a highly regarded war hero. It's as though Stilwell never really left. All his possessions are still faithfully kept in place. Photos adorn the walls, and I almost feel like I'm trespassing. I say almost because A, I'm not really, and B, it would be worth it if I was.
Well, having had a chance to quickly stroll around, I feel like I've been transported back in time to the Second World War, to the 1940s, and I'm actually in the former residence of General Joseph Stilwell, who was sent here to Chongqing, to the wartime capital of China, to help coordinate the resistance against the Allied resistance against invading Japanese forces. And it really is quite funny to see the American-Chinese relations all together in one house, and here the meeting room where they would have planned all of their strategies and how to defend an attack. It's pretty impressive. Hi guys, I'm Mark, and what are your names and where are you from?
I'm John Funk, and I'm from New Hampshire in the United States.
Okay.
Dave Cullinan, I'm from the Chicago area, suburb of Chicago in Illinois.
Okay, and what are you guys doing in Chongqing?
Well, we're here as part of a tour of the country, and we've just been on the Yangtze River with a tour boat, and the destination ended here.
Right.
And we're spending a day in Chongqing, and then we're going to travel from here.
Okay. How are you finding Chongqing so far?
Well, we
Well,
just
got
arrived.
off the-
Literally just got
This
off the
is our
boat.
first stop.
Okay.
And we're both very pleased to be here because we wanted to come here on our scheduled visit. We
We
really
found this in the guidebook, and we want to honor one of our heroes from the war.
And General Stilwell.
Yes.
And the Flying Tiger.
And having had a quick scan around, how do you feel about the museum?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful to come to
Yes.
places like this and imagine how the general was living in this place.
You'd be well advised to take a quick detour to Red Cliff Village, which is situated about 20 minutes from the city centre. There's a history museum here which shows how some of the soldiers lived during the war. To get here, take the 104 bus from the Beichu-Lu bus stop. It was in this building that the cooperation between the Kuomintang and the Communist forces flourished in defending China against the Japanese invasion. It was during the Second World War that China joined with the American and Allied forces to fight off the Japanese. In 1937, the national government was relocated to Chongqing, and the city became the wartime capital of China. In many respects, this was due to its advantageous mountainous environment, which made it much harder to bomb, as well as its proximity to the Yangtze and Jialing rivers. You'll find that many Chinese tourists also like to come to the city, as there are numerous reminders here of Chongqing's role in shaping China's history during and following the war. It was during the Second World War that numerous factories and universities were moved from eastern China to Chongqing, transforming the city from inland port to heavily industrialized city. Chongqing is made up of many districts, with each one different to the next. They all have their own characteristics, which define it and differentiate it from the others. It's during one of the drives that we come upon an intriguing little area tucked away on the west side of town. It's an art district where you're more likely to find a giant rendition of a zoo on your building than anything else. Thanks to its proximity to and support from the Sichuan Fine Arts Institute, the entire area has been given a facelift. There are wall paintings and graffiti scattered everywhere, and this is also where Sichuan's up-and-coming artists reside and show off their work. Together with Chengdu and Kunming, Chongqing makes up the hub of artists, which are renowned around China for their work. However, Chongqing has continued its remarkable transformation from